Hello and welcome to the Recovery Minute. My name is Evan and I'm a counselor at Aspire Counseling Services. Today we're going to talk about high-risk situations. A high-risk situation is anything that can cause somebody in recovery a strong urge or desire to use or drink. This can happen openly or it can happen subconsciously. It's important in recovery and sobriety to identify our high-risk situations and to develop a specific plan to avoid each. So one of the common high-risk situations that somebody in recovery will face is hanging out with old using and drinking buddies. So a lot of times in recovery, we get clean and sober, but we still want to hang out with our old friends. We still want to go to the bar with our drinking buddies, or we want to go to the parties and stuff like that. And that's very dangerous. I mean, that's testing yourself. One of the problems with testing yourself is, hey, maybe you do get through that day without drinking and using. Maybe you get through the next day, but all you're doing is you're building a false sense of confidence, and then later on you're like, hey, I was able to withstand using, all those times, so maybe I can have that one drink and put it down the next day. And we've learned through trial and error that that's not the case. You pick up that one drink, and next thing you know, you're 2 months down the road, and you've been drinking every day. So hanging out with old using friends that are in active alcoholism and addiction is a very, very high-risk situation that we need to avoid. Another high-risk situation, and when it comes to friends, are those that are sober as well. And this is something personal for me. I had to recognize and be honest with myself and understand that hanging out with people that I used to get high with that are sober now themselves, a lot of times that just being around them would cause me to think about the drug and alcohol use. I would go home later on in the evening and I would think about drinking with those old friends or using. And so, recovery is about honesty and being honest with yourself and knowing, what are your triggers and what are your high-risk situations. And, some people obviously, they can hang out with others, but the important thing is, to evaluate, to see if it's causing you to think about using or drinking. So we've talked about friends, using and sober friends. Developing new friends, it's very key to having a successful recovery and sobriety. Another high-risk situation I wanted to talk with you about today is you guys are probably familiar with the acronym HALT. If you attend 12-step meetings or any type of rehabilitation program, then you've heard the acronym HALT, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. So it goes without saying, all four of those things, when you're hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, those things, they can cause stress in your life, right? And what do? Addicts and alcoholics, when we're stressed out, especially in early recovery, we revert to what we know, and that's using drugs. That's our coping skill, right? That we're used to relieve the stress. So how do we combat those four things? When we're hungry, what do? Right? We eat. We take care of ourselves. We need to make sure that we're eating, the amount of meals that we're supposed to eat in order to stay away from being hungry. When you're angry, angry is a secondary emotion. It's secondary to an emotion, so we need to find out what's causing that anger, right? When we're lonely, that's why it's important to have numbers of sober support. Have family, friends that you can call to avoid being lonely. And tired. One of the biggest things in early recovery and sobriety is sleep issues. A lot of people come and especially to Aspire, and they're having problems sleeping, and that sends a lot of people out. So that's definitely a high-risk situation. So learning how to sleep better. Sleep takes time, but over here at Aspire, we teach you coping skills, how to deal with the acronym HALT. So those are two of the high-risk situations. There's many more. We'd love to hear about your high-risk situations in the comments below and how you deal with them. And also, you can give us a call at Aspire, and we'd love to give you more information on how you can better deal with and cope with high-risk situations. Thank you for joining me for the Recovery Minute. Have a great day.